Thank you very much. Um, Eyewitness News annual commemoration move to Eastern Cape. We believe that Eastern Cape, Kofimbaba, that's where Comrade Chris comes from. President Mandela believed that leaders should be buried where they come from, among their people. And Comrade Chris' life is now celebrated at Kofimbaba, in the home of the legends, in the Eastern Cape. That is a befitting tribute on the 10th of April, as we remember this gallant fighter, Commissariat Chief of Staff, that we go to Kofimbaba and unveil a statue in his honor by our government and the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. There can be no better place either than that place of his birth. We continue to celebrate the life and times of Comrade Chris and commemorate his life in Ekurhuleni in Boksburg, where his mortal remains are buried. And that happened, I think, on Monday with the SACP and the ANC, commemorating Comrade Chris in Boksburg. That will continue too. So there's no shift. This is a remembrance, not only for the 10th, but on daily basis, in the lives of our people and the people of Kofimbaba, to know that among them in the rural Eastern Cape, the revolution gave birth to a combatant, Chris Tembisile Ani. So there is no shift in terms of how we commemorate. It's to raise it to another level, which we embrace for this year, that this is taking place in Kofimbaba. SABC meeting with political parties, we did brief the media that we will seek audience and engagement with all political parties to address the budget impasse going forward. And we had written to all parties, and they have responded positively to this. The discussion thus far are going very well among all parties who have met. We intend to conclude this discussion midweek next week. We have had talks about talks with political parties before the passing of the budget framework, and we agreed with political parties to pass the budget framework, and some did not come to the party. In particular, the DA, EFF, and MK Party and Freedom Front Plus, and others did not partake, like the Cape Colored Party. Those who did in majority voted for the budget framework. So we're now moving towards the division of revenue, and we need to find each other in relation to the budget, of which many raised the issue around the VAT, of which we are attending to it in terms of our discussions. So by next week, all of us and those who will have agreed on the framework agreement on breaking the impasse, we hope to convene and give you a detailed account about the way forward. We have not met yet with the EFF, MK Party, the DA. We have not met with those parties at the Freedom Front Plus, Patriotic Alliance, UAT, we have not met with them, those parties. So, and the Rise Mzansi. We'll meet with some tomorrow. We meet with the DA on Saturday and the Freedom Front Plus on Sunday. All political parties we have engaged with to date have agreed that we will meet next week again, all of us, in terms of interrogating and concretizing the way forward on the question of the budget. There are various suggestions that political parties are making. They are committed to making South Africa work beyond party affiliation, the same as that is the case with the ANC. And you may ask why the ANC convenes the meeting. We are the largest party. We've got the responsibility to engage with everyone and lead to make things actually happen. It doesn't mean that political parties are subservient of the ANC, as others may want to project in a spin, that we are Sapuna, we are convening, all terminology can be used to denigrate the standing of political parties. So we wish to make it clear that we took the initiative as the largest party to engage with political parties, and we're doing very well up until thus far. So we have met with the UDM, we have met with BOSA, we have met with Action SA, we have met with the IFP, we have met with the Cape Coloured Party. We are meeting others tomorrow, and then we will conclude that process on Monday. And as we conclude, it will take us to the way forward, because what is before us is not a matter between two political parties. It's a matter among political parties, those in the GNU, as well as those who are outside, to make it a point that we are able to pass the budget. That's what is important. There's not been any bargaining conditions other than political parties raising their objection to the question of the VAT, as you would have known, that they did so prior and after the passing of the budget framework. So we are engaging with political parties, and this has been, we are happy to report that this engagement has been very fruitful with political parties. Newsroom Africa. No, we have not met with the DA, and as such, the question of the KZN, I don't know it arises in which context, but we are meeting, like I said, on Saturday at 11 o'clock. So KZN has not arisen in terms of our discussions, because we have not yet met with the DA, and as such, I cannot give answers to a number of questions you may ask that are related to the ANC and the DA in terms of what has happened with the passing of the budget framework. That will only come after our meeting. But even then, it will be informed by the discussions we would have had with the Democratic Alliance. It is only then that we can answer a number of questions you may have asked in relation to the Democratic Alliance. Are we removing the DA Lunga? Did we ask them to withdraw the court case? I think it relates to the matter that I've just answered, that we have not met with the DA. So your questions can only be answered once we have met between the two parties. And I can tell you that that is not the framework of engagement. in terms of political parties, and the DA is no exception, because they did not vote for the framework. The question for us is, what is our attitude in terms of the budget impasse, and what needs to be addressed to get the budget to be passed for South Africa? So in this engagement, and its objective is to address the passing of the budget. And this engagement will not end there. We will also engage with our allies in relation to these matters. As you know, that they too have positions on the question of the budget. That is now as the African National Congress. So by next week, we hope to conclude these engagements, because from engagement is negotiations on the matters of disagreement and talking among political parties. So we are firmly on track in terms of what we had agreed to do, and the ANC have, as of Monday, agreed that this is the route that we must follow as a governing party. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't see any hand. Is that our last? Okay.
I just want to know this. If it's true, you can confirm for me if it's true or not. What I'm hearing is that the president is going to be meeting the leaders of the political parties, various political parties, tomorrow. Is this all the leaders of the parties who are represented in parliament, or is it those who are represented in the GNU? Secondly, is the ANC, because from what HNSA is saying, is that there's an understanding that the VATs will not be increased. Is the ANC saying that that will not be increased? And is the reconfiguration of the GNU still something that is playing somewhere in your mind? Thank you very much.
We are engaging with political parties, and we can confirm that Action SA is firm on the question of the VAT, and in relation to it not being part of the budget going forward. That is the matter we are engaging with as we speak. In terms of our negotiations, and obviously we don't run treasury, and different political parties have been engaging with the Minister of Finance in this regard, and so what is permissible in terms of that work, treasury would like to defer to treasury, but it is important that we allow this process to conclude, and then we'll answer you quite clearly and with a little bit of firmness next week, once we allow the process to be finalized. So we have said to political parties in our engagement, and nobody have disagreed, that we want to move to a situation where we are allied. Maybe all of us, and not so much all of us at the end. So political parties have got bottom lines that we can move up to this far. That include the ANC. And we will be more pronounced by next week, once we have concluded the process of engagement. So don't go and rest. We're still on track, and don't second guess us. We'll speak for ourselves, including all political parties. At the end of the day, those who agree on the way forward will then have to craft a statement of agreement. The GNU is not the ANC and the DA. The president, when he meets with the GNU, he addresses issues of the GNU, of political parties, in terms of the conduct and at the same time what needs to be done. Because the GNU is GNU of political parties. We don't believe in the marriage of two parties. Albeit the fact that that reality, others want to undermine it, you know, but the fact of the matter is that this is a government of national unity. Leaders and their political parties must be respected. The ANC is advocating for a rules-based approach in terms of the functioning of the GNU going forward. Lunga, most of you are asking the question, and let me answer it, reconfiguration. Reconfiguration will be answered fully if a political party, two or one, walk away from the GNU. And I've explained to you that one political party walking away from the GNU does not mean the collapse of the GNU. It means you then engage in a discussion of reconfiguration. And secondly, I have explained to you, and I wish to reiterate, the ANC is committed to the government of national unity. The challenges that we have faced with the passing of the budget are matters that are under discussion as we speak. And if it so happens that the impasse is not avoidable, in the process of negotiations and talks between parties, it means that will then result in other processes and discussions. At the present moment, we're sailing very nicely, and there's not been anything that seeks to suggest that we may end up with a mayhem. So political parties are cooperating and we're engaging. So by next week, we will have a roadmap and a way forward on the budget, and that will be informed by this process of engagement. We've been candid and open to one another, and serious suggestions have been made in terms of breaking the impasse and ensuring that we are able to have a budget that speaks to growth and that address the crisis and the bloodbath of joblessness in our country, and address all those challenges in terms of the impasse around the VAT. If not VAT, where are the sources of income going to come from? And ensure that it's not just VAT, but it is VAT versus austerity. And if that austerity others are advocating for affect social spending, what does it mean for us? And the ANC is not caught in between. It's a question of saying, where do we then get the resources to address the shortfall and to ensure that social spending on important aspects of the budget is then addressed. So that's what is important for us, more than what you want to hear about positions in government and all of that. No, it's an easy discussion of reconfiguration, because you have left. If you have left, government is reconfigured, and then who then comes in, we can then discuss positions. The very fundamental discussion that we are having now is about the budget. You know that budgets break or make a government, especially coalition governments. You would have seen that in Europe and everywhere else. So budget is an important tool in terms of governments. So we're having a good discussion, and we are hopeful that we should produce the positive result at the end of next week. We have said to you 2 weeks. Of course, there's going to be Easter, and we don't count those days. But in the next 2 weeks or so, we should be able to have concluded on these matters. Yeah.
All right, colleagues, thank you. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.